Thank you. Hi, everyone. So, by a show of hands, how many of us are parents? Parents. That's a huge percent. So I'm sure you're late to this. How much do we know about the system that carries our children to school every day? They get into the bus, the door closes, we don't get to see them again until the evening. Do we know the driver who drove that bus? Do we know the route they went by? How is it that the people we love most in this world, that we are happy to put them in that situation and just hope that in the evening they will get home? And again, trust that these buses, which are unreliable and inefficient and harmful in into this environment, we trust that they will carry our children to school and back. My name is Lucy Kimani. I'm the co-founder and CEO of a company called NoMa. NoMa is a tech platform. I think my mic has an issue. NoMa is a tech platform that digitizes school transportation. Thank you. NoMa is a tech platform that digitizes school transportation, all in an effort to make it safe and efficient for our children. So last year, we took to 50 schools, spoke to over 200 parents, and 20 bus drivers over a span of 6 months to validate this problem. And we came across 3 main stakeholders: the parent, the school, and the bus drivers. What is the problem? Mainly visibility. Parents can't track their children, they do not know where they are, they don't get notifications in case of an accident or an incident. The school, they don't know where the buses are at any given time, can't track their fuel. Pretty much no fleet management system. The bus driver has no idea who's seated at the back of his bus, meaning he has no digital diary. And whenever the parents don't know where the kids are, they're constantly calling the driver. To an extent, he puts off his phone. And a lot of them also have minders. So what solution did we come up with? We built a SaaS through our MVP. So now the parents have an app where they constantly are tracking their children. The school has a platform, a dashboard that is, which has a fleet management system that they're able to track the fuel, the liter against the kilometers that have been covered. They're able to go through the driver trainings and understand where they have, in case they have any one of their drivers as an outlier. And the drivers, now they're able to have a digital diary. What's our price point like? We charge $2.3, which is 300 shillings per child per month. We are a B2B2C model. The beauty about this price is embedded within the transport cost for the school. So for us, as NoMa, we get this in the beginning of the term. So we collect our money in the beginning of the term through the school, which makes it brilliant for us. You might say, you have downtime. No. Currently, we have 50% of the schools that we are working with are international schools. They're still working and paying for our platform, which is brilliant. What are the statistics like? We're working mostly with primary schools. 16.5 million children are attending primary schools. 5.5 of this, private schools. 60% of them are going to the private schools. And these are the ones that we are targeting. Right now we have 5 schools. Amazingly, we only need 31 schools to break even. What is our burn rate? $3,000 currently. We need 17,000 to break even. Meaning what? We need 31 schools. In Kenya alone, as of last year, KEPSA gave us a record of 22,000 schools registered in the private sector. That is a huge number, which means for us, we need to ramp up very, very fast. What's the next phase for us? We want to build the route optimization model and the capacity utilization model, meaning we really need to grow our tech team and ramp up very, very fast. That's the next feature for the schools. We want to grow organically and perfect what we have. And then eventually, we want to build a platform that allows an aggregator, a third-party platform. Of all the schools that we have talked to, and by the way, the sales cycle for us is quite short because this is a challenge for most schools. We go in, we find the problem already exists, and most schools are willing to onboard us. Right now, we have 21 schools waiting to be onboarded, But we have a very lean team, and we need to grow very fast in order for us to onboard. So we're looking for $250,000 to build the team and eventually grow into what we call an aggregator by empowering women to own buses and lease these buses to the schools that want to go asset light. This is a very important piece for us, but I see my time is up. Thank you so much again. I'm the CEO of NoMa and the co-founder. Thank you so much for your time.
Awesome. Q&A. First question. Right over there.
Oh yeah. Just on your fleet, are you currently? Sorry, I'm not from Kenya, so I want to understand how it works differently from South Africa. Do the schools have their own buses, or you are coming in with your own fleet? Do you also allow third contractors on your platform to bring in the fleet? How are you going to go about the fleet side of it?
That's a very good question. We are purely asset light. We are providing the SaaS fast, whereby most schools own the buses. In fact, 99% of the schools own the buses. Only recently are we seeing that schools are now going asset light because they understand that these assets are hard to maintain and they can become quite unreliable. So that's part of our next phase. It's part of our roadmap. We want to build a platform whereby we empower women and through financially empowering them for them to own the buses. We understand that women, of course, can relate to children better. So through capacity utilization, we'll help the school understand that this is the size of the bus that you need and not necessarily this one. And the women who own the buses can now offer these buses to the school. We manage this entire platform. As I think Maya had said, which is much easier. Once you own the bus and you drive it, you're able to manage the bus better. So the school pays us, we take our 20% margins, and we give the rest to the bus owners. We've already done the unit economics around this, and it makes absolute sense. The schools are willing to pay for this around the year because this will be branded their name and fully branded for them. Yeah. Hope I answered your question.
Any other questions? Okay, over here.
Are you looking at clean energy buses or just petrol buses, like electric buses?
Thank you so much for that. It's amazing to see JIT here because I had reached out to JIT earlier this year. So, and by that's
don't be afraid. We say no.
And by that's so true because we want to be the first platform to actually launch the first electrical school bus. And that's because from the schools who want to go asset light, they want to launch electric buses. So we are already in the platform, and so that would be great for us to, upon the time now we bring in the third-party platform to launch the electrical buses. So I know. Once we're done with this, I will look for JIT, and we can get to discuss how that the viability of that to happen.
One of the things that this platform does for you is networking. So JIT is here.
Absolutely.
Any other question over there?
I'm going to ask this as a parent to a child who would probably take one of your buses. What are you thinking about the experience of the kid who rides the bus? We know in Nairobi those kids wake up at 4 a.m. They're the first ones to be picked, they're the last ones to be dropped. They're spending about 4 to 5 hours of a day inside the bus. What are you, in terms of things like route optimization, is that something you're thinking about?
That is a very good question, and that is our next feature, route optimization. The reason why I'm standing right here before you is we're looking for $250,000 to build a robust tech team, because that's the next feature that we're building for those outlier students who spend 4 hours. We had one parent who complained that their child got home consistently at 10 p.m. and got picked up at 5 a.m., which makes absolutely no sense. By the way, this is not a Kenyan problem. This is an African problem, and also cuts across other regions, not just in Africa, but also Asia. And most recently, I was seeing the company Right Zoom in America that just became a unicorn I think that was 2 months ago, and they raised about $150 million in their Series E. They are doing something very phenomenal around the same. We had no idea, but it's amazing to see the same in America. But route optimization is what we intend to do for that. In addition to that, where we have capacity utilization and where we will empower women to own vehicles, it is the likes of vans and other vehicles that are slightly smaller that here in Kenya we call boxes at NoMa that will pick up children in those regions. And we can do carpooling for them so that they don't have to get picked up at 5 o'clock. That is very unfair for children. They can get picked up on the night time. The last piece before I go to the next question, from when we started our business, we've received over 100 calls of parents asking, can we get transport for my child from one region to the other? We don't have a solution for that yet, but we've documented each one of them. Upon the time we come up with a solution, we will reach out to them. Yeah.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. I think you answered partly my question. I wanted to ask about the data you collect. What kind of potential does it have? Not just for the route optimization, but do you foresee other potential outcomes?
Just a follow-up question, grabbing the mic, sorry. Lucy, could you tell us if, from a data standpoint, you have been able to find positive outcomes from this work? For example, you would need to measure either children's attention spans in school, their ability to pass exams. There's got to be an outcome metric at the end of all this, and it'd just be great to hear if you've started to collect that data. Thank you.
You have 1 minute to respond to both questions.
Okay. That's a very good question, but we launched 4 months ago. So that's data that we are keen to collect. However, again, the data that we are collecting is very sensitive, and there's a lot of security around that. We are collecting mostly data around behavior, because that will be super helpful for us. The other piece that's so important is we have implemented what I call gadgets for the children. They're like cards, and we want to go into RFID cards, whereby the kids can tap into, when they're getting into the bus, they can use to sort of like notify the parents. But there's a very important piece that came up for the kids who are autistic, and whereby these gadgets can be used to speak to them when they get lost. So that's a piece of innovation we want to see in future, where, whether it's something we can venture into. That when you get lost and you have your card and it's tied to your bag, because you can't expect a kid to have the card like this. They're all tied to the bags right now for the schools that we're in. They can speak to the card and say, I'm lost. And we can speak back and say, where exactly are you? But we can track them once the school allows us to do that, because that's a privacy piece. Yeah.
You answered? Okay, so I guess the rest of the conversation you can have with her in a private deal room on the other side.
Yeah, it's actually on the left-hand side.
On the other side, yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
A round of applause to her.